the Houston Texans at the New York Jets. The Jets win this game 21-13. This is a game where everybody went into it and they're like, whoa, how are the Jets favored in this game? What's going on here? And they do end up winning the game. So maybe Vegas knows a thing or two here. Jets, top 5 graded players in this game. Wide receiver Garrett Wilson, another Ohio State receiver. Fantastic game.
What a shot that is.
91.1. Yeah, that is one of the best catches that we will see all year. Defensive tackle Quentin Williams, number 2 on this list with an 80.8. Wide receiver Devontae Adams, an 80.1. Offensive tackle Tyron Smith, a 77.6. And the safety Jalen Mills, a 76.6. Aaron Rodgers in this game is 78.9. On Houston's side of things, Joe Mixon, an elite 90.4 grade on Thursday Night Football. Offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil with a 77.5. Wide receiver Tank Dell, a 77.1. Linebacker Henry To'o with a 74.0. Cornerback Jalen Petrie with a 72.7. And then C.J. Stroud in this game, not his best. It's a tough day at the office for the Houston offense. Down a couple of starters, 75.7 overall grade. Stats told the story here, Dalton. What do we got?
Real quick, Jets, for really, I would say just the second time this year, had their pass rush show up. Ironically, both of their Thursday games, so maybe their defense wants them to play on Thursday every week.
Do it.
8 sacks in this game for the Jets. Quentin Williams had arguably his best day of the year, 8 pressures and 2 sacks. Will McDonald with 7. Hassan Reddick with 8. He just, maybe he's getting comfortable now. And I think the other thing to throw in there, Jeff Ulbrich maybe getting a little more aggressive here than Robert Saleh. The Jets had 4 sacks on blitzes in this game. Before, in the first 8 games, they only had 6. So maybe getting a little more aggressive, taking a gamble on the outside with Sauce and Reed, playing man coverage a little bit, trying to manufacture a pass rush, because clearly this is a struggling unit. But the combination of the Jets pass rush showing up and the Texans offensive line not really was, I thought, the biggest difference in this game, especially as the Jets on offense were struggling through the first half. At least their defensive line showed up in this game, and they really hadn't a lot this year before this.
I'm worried about Houston's offensive line. I really am. I mean, this is a good football team, certainly when everybody's healthy, but this is a unit that could really hold them back. 48.3 passing grade against the New York Jets, 22 pressures allowed. Stroud was pressured on half of the dropbacks that he had in this game. In fact, Stroud had 11 completions in this game. 4 of them were big-time throws. So it's like he was doing everything that he could have in this game. He was just pressured so much. And some people might look at it as like, okay, well, it's sort of the one game. They had some guys in and out of the lineup in the offensive line. 65.3 overall blocking grade this season, which is 25th in the NFL. So it is an issue that it's a really good football team. They need Nico Collins to come back. There is no doubt about it. But even with Nico Collins back, the Texans don't just have, let's be a fun team and make the playoff kind of aspirations. They've got deep playoff run aspirations, even in the AFC. And it's really hard to envision them getting to that point with the offensive line playing the way that they have played so far this season, and especially against the New York Jets on Thursday. I'll shout out Joe Mixon, another fantastic day for Joe Mixon. And most disappointing, I think the top corners in this game. It was a rough game for Sauce Gardner. It was a rough game for Derek Stingley Jr. It was just a tough day for the cornerbacks on Thursday Night Football. So
I'm with you. I think there's the goal in the AFC is you have to beat the Chiefs, right? And there's, to me, when you're playing the Chiefs, there's 2 things you have to do. Find any way to slow down Mahomes so he doesn't just run away with it. And block. You have to have some answer for Chris Jones. And right this minute, the way their pass protection has been on the inside, they have no. If they played the Chiefs tomorrow, Chris Jones would have 12 pressures and 3 sacks. If you don't have an answer for 95, even though as great as the rest of the Chiefs' defense is playing, none of it matters if you can't block that guy. And the Texans right now, as they're currently constructed, they wouldn't stand a chance at blocking Chris Jones.
Nope. No, I mean, and I don't think Stroud is bad. I just think he has no confidence in any of the receivers right now that played. Now, he'll get Nico Collins back next week for Sunday Night Football on NBC. And I don't know why I said it like that. And so that's obviously an important thing because I think guys are open for the most part. I think he just doesn't trust what he's seeing right now. And then the offensive line is tremendously bad. And I think there's a big difference between a pressure. Pressure, we do put it, are a lot of different things in one bucket. These are guy in his face right away pressure.
Yeah.
Guy winning one, losing one-on-one up the middle right away. And a guy, it's not the offensive line kind of got pushed back and he's kind of close to me. These are like affecting the quarterback pressures. And then my last thing I'm saying today, flipping over to this is our last game, and flipping over to the Jets offense. This is an offense that goes, do you win one-on-ones? If you win one-on-ones like they did in the second half, you're going to score some points. If you don't win one-on-ones like they couldn't do in the first half, then this looks like the worst football game that we've ever seen in the first half, and they scored points. And especially like it was a great matchup versus the Texans defense has kind of changed what they do this year, where they do play a lot of man-to-man. They do play a lot of single high coverage. They are going to put Stingley and Lassiter on in one-on-one situations. So that's what this offense is, and like it's fun when it's great, and they're throwing the slot fades to Devontae and Garrett Wilson's making 2 one-handed catches, but they're not gonna scheme up anything crazy here. You're gonna win. You're gonna spread it out, win the one-on-ones. You're gonna be good. If you don't win those one-on-ones on the outside, we have nowhere to go with the football.
Agreed. I think their offense is very much like Dallas, where it's just kind of
let's just go play.
It is,
yeah.
I guess. Yeah, it's a vanilla offense, and I, to your point about the Texans, the 3 guards that played in this game, and I think that's something that needs to be said more. The pass blocking grades, as you guys know, don't just come from the number of pressures you've given up, right? It's about the quality of them, too. We have a whole scale for that sort of thing. Shaq Mason, 22 pass blocking grade. Kenyon Green, who is now out for the year with injury, 9.2 pass blocking grade. And Kendrick Green, who came in for Kenyon, 0.4 pass blocking grade. That's the 3 guards that played in this game for the Texans. That's obviously unsustainable. I mean, it's not even unsustainable. It's unsustainably bad. Like it couldn't even be that bad for multiple games in a row. But if you're even talking in that range, you have a serious problem on the inside. And those grades really speak to not only the amount of pressures, but the quality and the quickness of the loss that you just mentioned.
Jets take on the Arizona Cardinals, so that'll be a fun one next week. And then, like you said, the Houston Texans, they take on the Detroit Lions Sunday Night Football on NBC.